So I've just updated this a little bit because I wasn't really that happy with it. I've sat and looked and looked. What I've done is I found a little doily, so I'm going to sew that onto it. Took these up a little bit, put some more black lace on, and then I've got some proper black lace which is going to sew onto the back. So I'm just going to tuck in out of the way of the blue, and I might just cut that up a bit more so there's less of the blue now. Just take it to a small, and there I've pinned it all in place. So I'm just going to do tack and stitches. And then at the end, I'm just going to possibly sew that back onto the top as my little anchor. So the rest now, I'm just going to sew it by hand because I want to get some ruffles. And I think that looks a lot better now than it was before. And then if you want to contrast against your fabric, and then I'll be attaching it to the bag. So it just gives a tiny little bit of colour behind, brings all the cream together. And I'm really happy with that now as a brooch, which is going to be fitted to the bag. So I'll do all that and then I'll fit it to the bag, and then I'll take a picture and show you. So I'll just show you how I've done the full brooch from start to finish, and then what we did at the end. Starting with a felt base, I'm going to glue and sew mostly. I just want to make some smaller sections of the felt. So just get a base for the felt, and I can sew on to sew onto the felt, and then we can also make a brooch if you wanted to do it like a brooch effect. I've picked a light because I'm putting it on like a blue denim. And it's up to you what kind of shape that you want. So I just want one piece. Design, teardrop shape. So I'm just going to start and give it that kind of shape. So the base, just make sure I've got some glue. Oh, shouldn't have done that yet, but I was too impatient. So I'm just going to get some bits and stick them on. So everything's going to be falling down this way. As well, if you were doing a brooch, you would have to probably do it the other way up. I suppose it wouldn't really matter, but because this is going on a bag, the bottom of the bag's bigger, so I want it to come down in that direction. And all I'm going to do now is just have a little mooch about and see what I want to add. So this I want it to come down a little bit further than the rest. So anything that you think's going to be flatter at the back or at the sides. I do have thumb protectors in there. We'll just roll with this, I think, for now. So with your ribbons, it's all flat things first. So you're going for ribbon, lace, and then we can cut these, if you want them, cut them shorter later on. But we'll just keep adding on. This is some of the, I'll use that one, I think. So it will be a bit messy because I am not the neatest. And then I don't want that edge to be like this. So I want that covered up eventually. Also, there's, if you see these knocking about, it's like a PVC. That's a nice backdrop for a brooch if you wanted the background to pop. So you could have that behind, but it'd probably take away from my design, and my design's quite dark. So I just tuck that in a little bit there. I had started making what do you call them, tassels as well. So I think they'll be nice. I'm going to put these in the tassels, but I want, you know, the things that go on the top. I sent for them, but they were that small, so probably be all right for this. So maybe make a little one and then put it down here. Try that, do you think? So I don't want it to be too much the same. Should I just add that to there? I think I'll just add that to there. So now things are starting to get a bit shorter. So this is the way up that I'm going now. Do a bit more crinkled. Who doesn't love a sticky glue session in the mornings? Surprising what you have lying about. I have started making up little kit boxes, like for slow stitching and things that I'll be putting together. Possibly these kind of things, if you want them ready made, just pop me a message and I'll try, and if you nip over to my Etsy shop, see what I've got happening on there. I'll try and leave the links below of all my Etsy shop. But I've been doing a little bit of, well, not been doing, I've always done a little bit of embroidery and mindful sewing. don't really want to cut this. So I'll fasten them. These were off some glasses, I think, yeah. So luckily they've got your little clasps, so you can take them. And then join them together. I'm just going to put a big bubble of glue there. Let that set. Oh, come on. That's better than sticking to my fingers, isn't it? A little feather. So with the pearls, I don't want them to hang all down to the same level, so I'm just going to, I need to take that one off, I think. That's it. And you'll have a little clean up later on when all the glue sets. It's fun sitting picking it off your fingers for the rest of the day. I quite like these little pieces as well. So you just get everything and all sorts. Another little piece of lace, do you think, there? Yeah, you've got to be mindful as well of the weight. So we don't want to put too much, but I want to be able to build it up so like you can't see the raw edges down here. Anything like that I'll probably trim off. And then with the pearls, I just kind of want to loop them up and around. That might be a case of putting a stitch in rather than the glue. So what I will do then is I'm just going to glue everything, and then before I use it I'm just going to, I'll put a few, I'll just put a few stitches in from behind to the front, and then just let it, once it's set, the glue set, I'm just going to put some thick stitching through, probably just a couple of blacks, maybe stitching. So I'm going to start to hold that up, and because it's the blue is going to be on the denim behind, it's not going to look too bad. Now the piece that I'm using, this is going onto the leather strap bag, so I've got, instead of using the belt going round, I've put it in shreds. So I could have done with just using like a a nod to the leather. So I think I'm going to hope that'll definitely need sewing into place there. So I found a lovely brooch. I think I'm just going to leave that on the back. And it does hang, which way? It hangs that way. So I'm just going to lift that out of the way. Put a lot of blob, a lot of blob, and push that up to the front. And if there's anything that you don't like about it, then you can always take it off and do something else. So I'm looking at that now, and I'm a bit of a is more kind of for these embellishments. Still not sure about the pearls, so probably what I'll do is now I'll put this on in that middle bit there, because why not? I'll put this on. I was looking at doing the thing, but I think that's just overkill now. Maybe that later on. And then that could maybe, looks like it's the buckle. Oh no, not the glue. Appears we have run out. Try not to get any glue on the top of that. Okay, so that'll do me for now. I'm going to sit and stare at it for an hour and decide if I want to add anything else, and then we'll get on doing the tassel. I should have had it that way, really. Show you. So I've just got my favourite needle. Going to just make sure that I've got bits of the lace on covering the blue. So it makes it handy using the blue, and then I can see what needs to be done. Put a little knot behind, and it's just to the front, to the back. I'll do a little couple of stitches. I haven't actually sewed that to anything. That was clever. Just pull it down there. I'm just doing it from the front because I can see the lace here. I just want it to a little pleat or a little tuck. Just a couple of stitching. Make sure you pull your feathers and anything you want forward. So just moving your thumb down to where you want the next stitch to be. Fold it over. Keep moving your bits. So I've already tucked up the bit of lace that I was quite happy with there. So if you do a little tuck, then it looks like a little ruffle. Yeah. I need to move that little feather forward. I'm going to be destroying it. Look. That's it. I don't want to ruin it. That's it. Just pull everything out of your way. I'll move that because I'll sew that on later. And see that straight edge, I don't want that there, so I'm just going to tuck that behind. Oh, not sew your finger. Okay, so I'm just going to do that all the way around. I won't bore you to death. You can always just find the bottom. When you hit your mat, you've hit the bottom, I suppose. That's got a little ruffle there. So it's up and down. So I'm going to go all the way around doing this technique. I think the thing with this is just to know when it's enough, but I knew that I needed to add more lace. It wasn't enough for me. So I knew that once we got some lace in the post, I think this come off Vinted. I shouldn't really tell you where my secret stash. But yeah, love Vinted because it's nice and cheap. You can get bundles of people who's already crafters. It's getting rid of their stuff, so you're helping out other people, de-stashing their stuff. And you can get a bundle where you get all your because I think as well the most expensive thing about buying things these days is the postage. With a vintage, I just make sure I try and always go for a bundle first, see if there's anything else that person's selling that I might be interested in, and then then I can offer them, like, you know, well, they offer discounts for the bundles, and then you've got obviously got your discount on the postage, which is great. So it's hit and miss. Well, no, it's not actually. I've got boxes of vintage lace doilies. I think I'll have shown you that in a previous haul video. So if you want to have a look at that, it'll be on my channel. I'm going to try and get used to adding links to things, but I don't know. I don't know whether I'm going to still remove these 2 bits. I can't decide. But we shall see. I'm just going to tie this off in a knot just now because I'm running out of cotton, and make sure that I've got the pins out that I've done so far. Yeah, I'll do just like, because it's elasticy this. So I can't decide whether I want to keep it or not. But I think once the back's on, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm just going to tie myself a little knot and then go back up the side.